Hi, Patty Gieselman here from Choices Counseling and Skills Center in beautiful sunny California. We are so excited to share with Institute for Girls Development the opportunity to host a 4-day DBT intensive with Dr. Shari Manning and Dr. Kate Comtois. We are just delighted to be able to offer this program for people who are a little more advanced in their DBT and really want to thrive. And I'm so excited today. Shari Manning has agreed to spend a few minutes with me just telling us a little bit about what we can expect. And Shari, thank you for joining us.
Sure. Hi, everybody.
Okay.
So, talk for a minute about what we're going to do in this training. You know, case conceptualization is a really important part of DBT, and I think sometimes we overlook that it is really the thinking in DBT. It is why we do what we do from the start of treatment through the finishing of treatment. It is how we assess and how we orient, and then every piece of the treatment is involved in the formulation that we call case conceptualization. And I think case conceptualization has kind of risen to prominence with the advent of certification.
Yeah.
Because now there is a piece of certification that says, can you conceptualize your client? So not only now are you demonstrating that you can do DBT, but you're actually demonstrating that you can think DBT.
Yeah.
So when we approach this training, we really were coming at it from two pieces. That is, can you think DBT and can you do DBT? So we'll have two tracks going almost simultaneously, which is the development of case conceptualization skills and then wrapping them into actually doing the treatment. So people will walk in with a case conceptualization form that we have sent to them that they will complete to the best of their abilities when they come. Not striving for perfection, not thinking that they will be, but having a starting place for us. Then Kate and I will introduce to everybody two clients. They're actually based on real clients of mine from the past who've agreed to be our client models for this training. And we will actually follow those two clients through treatment. So we will start with assessing and orienting and getting life worth living goals, and then how you actually start looking at things like biosocial theory and where it shows up in current client behavior, setting stages and targets up for these clients, and then we'll actually target a couple of behaviors. So this will give us practice in the principles of case conceptualization, driving treatment through looking for controlling variables and pitching hypotheses, and then doing the change strategies at a higher level than you get in a beginning course. So, and then of course we will finish off with a little bit of secondary targets, because that's an important part of case conceptualization, and consultation team, because you'll never be able to conceptualize a case if you don't have a great team.
This sounds great. I had the pleasure of attending your training back in Atlanta a couple of years ago, and it was just, I learned so much, and I really wanted to bring it out here to the West Coast. So I can't even tell you how grateful I am that you guys are willing to do this with us. It's pretty exciting.
No, you know, it is highly experiential. As you remember, most of it is participants sitting in the front of the room or in the middle of the room with all of us tag teaming in and out to take these two clients through the treatment. And so, you know, we teach principles and protocols in DBT just as they're needed for clarification, but really we're trying to get these kind of more advanced skills in place.
So we get a chance to do the do.
Yes.
So who would you recommend would benefit most in attending this 4-day intensive?
So I think there are a couple of groups. I think that this is not a training for people who don't have basic knowledge in DBT. Right. And, you know, by basic knowledge, I mean really are doing DBT individual therapy, have done it for long enough that they know what some of their short weaknesses are and some of what their strengths are, that really are thinking about clients from a principle-based perspective and want to further that. So I see, you know, Person who's had 2 days of training, it really depends on the person. I think there are people who have had 2 really good days of training and studied on their own. People who have been in graduate courses, not survey courses on DBT, but courses where they've done some DBT. So I think if you're doing DBT individual therapy and you know the basics of DBT, this is a place for you to refine those skills. The other group that I think would benefit is the certification group.
Okay.
So if you're going through starting DBT certification or you've already passed the test and you know that you have 2 big work products in front of you,
Yep.
that written case conceptualization and the turning in of the 3 consecutive sessions, I think this is a great training to get you ready for the work product demonstration part of certification.
That's terrific. Now, can you tell me just a little bit more about you and Kate and how you've worked together? And it was a delight to see both of you working together. You come from such different strengths. So tell me a little bit about how that happened.
Sure. So I've been doing DBT since 1993, and Kate, I think, was 1991. So at this point, we have been doing DBT between the 2 of us for, 45 years or something like that. She is a therapist in a mental health center that is associated with a very large training hospital in Seattle, Washington. She has been on many of Marcia's grants. She runs a lot of grants on her own, not only DBT grants, but also a lot of suicide research grants and implementation grants. So she is a great researcher and a great resource. She also has developed a treatment called ACEs, which is kind of the second part of stage 1 DBT, that is about getting clients out and off of public assistance and into a living wage. She'll tell you a little bit about it. She has finished like her R34, which is her early study, and she now is doing a larger study on that. And she's done DBT all the while. She actually was in charge of Marcia's lab for a little while, Marcia Linehan. So she has research and a lot of clinical background. And, she does DBT with super hard kind of community mental health clients. Yeah. I have been mostly clinician, although a lot of trainer. I started with DBT in community mental health. I actually did my dissertation research on DBT in a urban community mental health center. As urban as you can be in South Carolina, which is where I live. And then I went to corrections, and I did the first study that was ever done on DBT in a correctional setting. And then back in the day when a few of us were thinking that maybe you could do DBT in private practice, I started doing a private practice clinic, and at one point before training just got to be such a demand on my time, we had 200 clients and 10 therapists and 8 groups, and we had a whole kind of continuum of care in our clinic. So at this point, I've done DBT in lots of settings. We had an intensive outpatient program. My team for a long time was a residential girls facility, adolescent. So I have a lot of practice on doing DBT in multiple settings. And here's what I have to say about that. It doesn't matter for this training what kind of setting you're in, because DBT individual therapy looks like DBT individual therapy. It doesn't matter what kind of setting you do it in. The therapy itself in those kind of closed doors of the individual therapy room will be the same. It's got the same principles. It has the same protocols. It doesn't really adapt a whole lot because it doesn't need adaptation in the individual therapy.
Shari, I am so looking forward to spending some time with you and Kate. It's just, this is very exciting. And we'll welcome you to our sunny California so you can enjoy some more warm weather. I know you have nice weather back there too. But thank you so much for taking a few minutes.
We are really excited to come and hang out with Choices and Patty and all of you guys.
All the Girls Institute folks. Take care. See you soon.